I'm with Golf Cart Garage once again. It is Thursday, September the 9th, 12 o'clock Central Time. Welcome to the garage. The garage is now open. What we're going to do today, we're going to see if we can answer some questions. Let's see if we can answer some email questions that we get here at the garage. See if we can help some people out. So let's see what we got here. Question number one, this is from R.M. Reed. I have a 48 volt 2016 Club Car Precedent that stalls at times. Is this an M-core issue or could it be something else? It could be an M-core issue. The M-core has inside the M-core is a sealed unit, but inside the M-core there is a micro switch in there that is activated and deactivated every time you push the accelerator pedal and let off. So you could have a sticking micro switch in the M-core. So yes, it could be an M-core issue. Now, what do you mean? I need to know more about what you mean by a stall. Like, does it completely shut down or does it stall down to a crawl? Because if it just stalls down to a crawl, that could be another issue. That could be a speed sensor issue. But if it just completely cuts out, I would be leaning toward M-core. Or battery cable. I'm assuming battery cables and all that's correct. Okay, question two. This is from J. Ark. Says he just bought a new Evolution golf car and I'd like to adjust the max speed. What do I need to buy to be able to do that? A Navitas controller, and it is a 48 volt lithium pack. Well, every manufacturer is different when it comes to adjusting speed in the newer cars. The newer cars are just like automobiles nowadays where they can plug in a computer and put in a tune basically. So Evolution might be who you would need to contact and see if they can see what their parameters are and what they need you to do in order to speed your car up. They may be able to do it with just a plug-in device like Club Car can and EasyGo can. You know, we can speed them up and slow them down just a little bit. We have a little bit of leadway nowadays with the computer. So you could contact Evolution. My advice would be contact Evolution Electric Vehicles. Let's see. This is from J. Estes. My Yamaha 2018 DR2 Golf Cart, the suspension is really hard. There is a block on the shaft of the shock that limits the travel. You only have about 1 inch of travel. If I remove the block from the smoother ride, I would advise against that. That block is there for a reason. That block is going to be there to limit the travel, yes, just like what you said, but to limit the travel for a reason, because if it goes down too far, it'll blow the shock out. So I would not mess with that shock in order to get a smoother ride. About the only thing you need to do to get a smoother ride is you're going to have to play with your tires a little bit. Like if you're running low profile tires, they tend to have a harsher ride. So you could switch to a tire and rim set that is not quite as low profile, and also play with tire pressure. Go with lower tire pressure. Lower tire pressure can smooth things out. But I would not advise messing with the blocks on those shocks. Okay, this is from David J. I have a 2006 Club Car DS. I want to upgrade the motor because I want to use it to hunt, so I'm interested in more torque than speed. Currently it has 4 12-volt batteries and I'm going to convert it to 6 8-volt batteries, but can't seem to find anyone with a conversion battery tray. Any suggestions on that as well? Thanks. If you're going to switch to a torque motor, that would be great. That would help a lot. I would also go with a better controller too. If you're going to switch that to a torque motor, go with a bigger controller too, and it'll be a beast in the woods, and you won't have any problem with it. Now, as far as the battery tray goes, I know there's a battery tray for the Club Car Precedent that switches from 412s to 6 8s. I'm not sure there is one for the DS. You might need to contact Club Car on that, because I looked on our site and I couldn't find one for the DS that converts 412s to 6 8s. I would be surprised if there's not one though, because it's a lot of people want to do that. So I think there probably is one. I just may not have been able to find it. Okay, another one. This is from TE Decal. I have a Club Car DS and it starts fine, but it cuts out. I let off the pedal and then depress it. The motor engages. It will go for a while and then it will cut off again. Release pedal and depress it. It engages again. What could be wrong? Well, first I need to know if we're talking about a gas or an electric car. It's not stated here. It could be, if it's a gas car, there's a pedal stop switch under the gas pedal, the first thing the accelerator pedal is connected to. So if sometimes it takes off and sometimes it doesn't, you could have a sticking pedal stop switch. If it's an electric car, it could have a sticking micro switch inside whatever type potentiometer that your car has. Depending on what year your Club Car DS is, your potentiometer is going to be different. It could be a V-Glide, it could be an M-Core, but each one of those has a micro switch in them. So if that micro switch sticks, you could stall, go out, it could cut out on you. So that could be what's wrong there. Okay, this is from Brian. My golf cart is having some issues. It just cuts off while driving, sometimes occasionally, not every time. Lights keep working, but no juice, no reverse buzzer, no loose wires, just absolutely no type of engagement. Sometimes after playing a few holes, the cart won't engage after hit the pedal. I switch to tow, wait a few minutes, and still nothing. But if I wait 10 to 20 minutes, it starts right up like nothing has happened. This is not every time. Sometimes I can make it 18 holes with no issue. I would have some questions about your cart on that one, but what it sounds like is it's very possible that your controller could be going into what is known as thermal shutdown. A controller, the controllers in golf carts are actually designed to do that. If they get too hot, they will shut completely off, and then you just let it sit there and cool, and it will come back on. What causes it to go into thermal shutdown the most is driving around slow, believe it or not driving around fast. It's slow. Up way more than if you're going wide open on the golf course. In other words, it depends on how you drive it, depends on the terrain you're on. That might be the explanation for why this is an intermittent thing, and it happens sometimes and doesn't happen others. It might be a different day on the course and you're able to go 18 holes before it goes into thermal shutdown. The problem with that is that they're only going to go into thermal shutdown so many times before they never come back. So you need to possibly look into that, like maybe the next time it shuts down, put your hand on the controller and see if it's hot. If it's really hot, that's probably your problem. Okay, this is from Gary. I have a 1999 E-Z-Go Medalist 36 volt. All batteries bought new last year. Holds charge and pass individual load test. Has good power with one person, but with two people, if I drive it on the grass, it will only go about 50 to 100 feet and then slow down and stop like the batteries go dead. But when I check the batteries with the meter, they are still charged. Each shows between 6.17 and 6.25 volts. Cables are all new and tight, and none of them are hot to the touch. When it does this, it will sometimes move in reverse, but not forward. If you can help me with this in any way, it would be appreciated. Thank you. Okay, well, first of all, there's no Medalist in 1999. In 1999, the Medalist was only up to like 1995. After that, they became TXTs with the plastic body. So in 1999, it is most likely an E-Z-Go DCS cart. And if that's the case, then I would bet that it is your controller. I have seen those controllers in DCS carts. I have seen them actually go to half power, not half speed, but half power. So in other words, one person, you drive around and it seems like it's fine, but as soon as you put it into a load, it wouldn't pull anything. They only made a DCS E-Z-Go for a couple of years, and this is one of the reasons, is because the controllers were a little bit weak. Then they went to PDS car, and everything's a lot better now when they switched to PDS. So that would be my guess. It's that your 99 is probably an E-Z-Go DCS, and it's your controller that's actually about to go out on you. Let's see. This is from Peter. Cart is not moving. When you put it in drive, it moves about 2 inches, and you put it in reverse, it moves about 2 inches. Well, I hate to say this, but that is actually a sign or a symptom that I have seen in my shop before, and it was a bad controller. You put it in drive, you hit the gas pedal, and the cart just jerks a little bit forward. Same thing in reverse, just jerks a little bit in reverse. It will not continue to go, and it was the controller. That's just my opinion based on my experience with those symptoms. I would say controller on that one. If you don't see anything obvious with a battery cable. I mean, obviously check, I'm assuming that all your battery cables are clean and tight when I say that. Okay, let's see, what else here? This is from J.C. Glenn. I purchased the double take wheel and tires from you and installed them. The front tires run as though they are bow-legged, and the back are bottoming out. What do I need to order? 2009 Club Car Precedent non-lifted. I have a new Summit 2 charger for my cart. I would like to know how much of the battery should be depleted between charging in order to optimize battery life. I used it for transporting groceries and materials on a boat access only, no vehicle island, not a golf course. I have no need to charge it every day since I don't even use the golf cart every day. I understand that leaving it plugged in whenever is not optimal. Okay, well, as far as the tires being bow-legged, I'm assuming that toe out, so it sounds like you need a front end alignment on that car. You need to align the front end, and if your car is non-lifted, I see, and if you're all of a sudden getting your tires are bottoming out, what size tire did you get? I mean, stock size for a Club Car Precedent that is non-lifted is 18 inches tall. So if you got something that was a larger size, that could be the cause of your bottoming out, obviously. Now the bow-legged part you're talking about, I'm not really sure why just changing your tires would have done that. Just sounds like your car needs a front end alignment to correct that issue. Now, as far as your charging goes, we sell a Lester Summit 2 charger. It has a storage mode function that will keep your car charged all the time. So that would be the way to go on that. It has a winter storage mode on it that keeps your car fully charged throughout the winter, so you can leave it plugged in. So that would be fine. I mean, everything else that you said on there, that sounds like that would be what you would need. Okay, this is from D. Duffy. After charging my 2050 volts, driving the car, it seems to miss or lunge a bit. I can only drive it about 1.5 miles before the low battery light illuminates and can barely make it home. Once home, I check the voltage and it reads 50 volts. Seems like this should be plenty of power left. Why are my batteries reading 50 but have no power? Thanks. Well, this is one thing that you would need to do. You need to have a proper load test done on the batteries. That 50 volts that you're seeing, that could be surface voltage. I have seen battery packs that will show 50 volts, but as soon as you take off, one battery will just drop to the bottom, and your golf cart needs all 6 batteries in order to run correctly. So even if just one battery drops out, then that could cause these symptoms. That's what I mean by surface voltage. It could just be surface voltage that is just sitting there giving you that. It's a real reading of 50 volts, but it's not going to be a real reading of 50 volts when you put it under load, I suspect. So what you would need to do is do a load test on each battery. You could, if there's a way, if you have a voltmeter and you need some alligator clip leads that actually will clamp onto the battery, and you can bring the voltmeter in the seat with you and drive the cart, do that 6 times. Do that for each of one of your batteries and watch for one of your batteries dropping down way more than the others, and that could be your problem. I would want to eliminate the batteries as being the problem first before we went anywhere else with the diagnosis on that car. Let's see. I have classic tires, 205 40 14s on my cart. What is the best inflation pressure for them? Well, every tire manufacturer and every tire size, they have different recommendations from the manufacturer. It's usually written on the side of the tire, to tell you what the max voltage is, but usually it's somewhere between 15 and 25. But if you've got 14-inch tires or 14-inch rims on this car, I suspect that you have some really low-profile tires, and you're probably developing a pretty harsh ride out of that. They look cool, but the ride's going to be kind of harsh. They may carry slightly different recommendations on tire pressure, but just best to check the sidewall of the tire and see what it says. All right, one last question here. I have a 1995 Club Car Electric. My cart needs a battery charger replaced. I was looking at the Club Car 48-volt golf cart charger Lester Summit 2. Would that work for my cart? Thanks. This question is from RAA. That will absolutely work with your cart. It's highly recommended. That's one of the most high-tech chargers on the market. It's Bluetooth compatible with your phone. You can look at your phone, you can see what your state of charge is, you can see how long it's going to take before the charge is complete. It is a very high quality charger made by Lester, and yes, that would absolutely work with your car. Let's see. I believe that's going to be it for today, everyone. Hope to see you next week. We'll answer some more questions. Once again, this is Tim with Gearhead On Demand at Golf Cart Garage. Thank you for coming.